The stars look different out here. Captain Jake Morrison pressed his face against the cold glass of the observation deck and watched the strange lights dance in the darkness. His ship, the USS Meridian, had been traveling for 3 months to reach this empty part of space. The mission was simple: check out some weird gravity readings that Earth's deep space sensors had picked up near the Kepler 442 system. "Captain, you need to see this." The voice belonged to Linda Hayes, his chief engineer. She sounded excited and worried at the same time. Jake pushed himself away from the window and floated through the ship's corridors. Life in zero gravity still felt strange after all these years. The bridge was buzzing with activity. Dr. Kevin Price, their alien life expert, was pointing at readings on his screen while Dr. Amy Foster, the team's physicist, was running calculations on her computer. Both of them looked like they had seen a ghost. "What have you found?" Jake asked as he strapped himself into his captain's chair. Linda pointed at the main screen. "There's something out there, Captain. Something big. Our sensors can barely see it, but it's definitely artificial." Jake looked at the screen. At first, he saw nothing but empty space and distant stars. Then Linda adjusted the sensors, and a faint outline appeared. It was enormous, bigger than any space station he had ever seen. The thing looked like it had been floating in space for thousands of years. "Any signs of life?" Jake asked. Kevin shook his head. "Nothing. No power signatures, no communications, no movement. Whatever built this thing, they're long gone." Amy looked up from her calculations. "Captain, the gravity readings make sense now. That station has a mass equal to a small moon. The metal it's made from is denser than anything we've ever seen." Jake made his decision. "We're going to dock with it. Linda, get the boarding team ready. Full environmental suits and bring the heavy scanners." 2 hours later, Jake found himself floating through the darkest corridors he had ever seen. The station's halls were huge, built for creatures much larger than humans. Emergency lighting flickered on as their team moved deeper inside, triggered by some ancient system that still worked after all these years. "The air is breathable," Linda said, checking her scanner. "Oxygen levels are good, but I still don't trust it. Keep your suits sealed." They moved through room after room filled with strange machines and computers. Everything was covered in a thin layer of dust, but nothing seemed damaged. It was like the builders had simply walked away one day and never come back. Kevin stopped in front of a wall covered in symbols. "These aren't like any alien writing we've seen before. The patterns are too complex, too organized. Whoever made these symbols was incredibly advanced." They found the station's central core 3 levels down. The room was massive, with a ceiling that disappeared into darkness above them. In the center sat a machine the size of a building, covered in lights that pulsed with a soft blue glow. Amy approached the machine with her scanner. "It's still active. After all this time, it's still running on some kind of power source I can't identify." Jake felt a chill run down his spine. "What does it do?" "I'm not sure, but..." Amy paused as her scanner beeped rapidly. "Captain, this machine is trying to communicate with us. It's sending out data streams in multiple languages. Some of them are human languages." "That's impossible," Linda said. "Humans have only been in space for a few hundred years. This station is ancient." Amy's eyes went wide as she read her scanner. "It's not just communicating. It's downloading information directly into our systems. Technical specifications, star charts, manufacturing processes. Captain, this is the most advanced technology I've ever seen." Jake watched as terabytes of data flowed into their ship's computers. The information included blueprints for faster-than-light communication systems, advanced manufacturing techniques, and defensive technologies that made their best military hardware look like stone tools. Kevin found something else that made them all stop and stare. In a chamber next to the central core, they discovered a holographic message. The image showed a tall, thin alien with 4 arms and large eyes. When it spoke, the station's computers translated its words into perfect English. "If you are hearing this message, then your species has reached the stars and found one of our gifts. We are the architects, and we have been waiting for you. Long ago, we spread these stations throughout the galaxy for worthy civilizations to discover. The technology contained within will help you grow strong and protect yourselves from those who would stop your progress. The hologram continued. But be warned, the galaxy is not a peaceful place. Older species will try to limit your growth, to keep you weak and dependent. They destroyed us when we became too powerful, just as they will try to destroy you. Use our gifts wisely. Build in secret. Prepare for the war that will surely come. The message ended, leaving the team in stunned silence. Jake looked at his crew and saw the same mixture of excitement and fear in their eyes that he felt in his chest. "Captain," Amy said quietly, "this technology could change everything. We could build ships that travel across the galaxy in days instead of years. We could create weapons that would make us the strongest military force in known space." Linda nodded. "But if we share this with the Galactic Council, they'll never let us use it. The other alien species already think humans are expanding too fast. They'll find a way to take this technology away from us." Kevin was studying the star charts that the machine had downloaded. "There are coordinates here for dozens of other stations like this one. All of them are in unexplored systems, far from any known trade routes or alien colonies." Jake made the most important decision of his life. "We're not sharing this with anyone. Not the Council, not Earth Command, not anybody. This information goes directly to Admiral Davis and Director Brooks. Let them decide what to do with it." As they prepared to leave the ancient station, Jake took one last look at the machine that had changed humanity's future. The architects had been destroyed by other species who feared their power. Jake wondered if humans would be strong enough to avoid the same fate. The journey back to Earth took 3 months, but it felt like 3 years. Jake and his crew spent every day studying the architect technology, trying to understand the incredible gift they had been given. By the time they reached Earth's solar system, they knew that everything was about to change. The data they carried would start the most secret project in human history. Within weeks, ships would begin traveling to the hidden coordinates the architects had provided. Construction crews would start building colonies that no alien scanner could detect. Humanity would begin preparing for a war that most people didn't even know was coming. Jake Morrison had found humanity's future floating in the darkness between the stars. Now it was up to others to decide what to do with it. Admiral Carl Davis stared at the holographic display showing the galaxy's political map. Red zones marked Zephyrian territory, blue showed human colonies, and yellow indicated neutral space controlled by the Galactic Council. The red zones were growing larger every month. "They're moving faster than we expected," said Director Helen Brooks, head of the Colonial Development Authority. She pointed to several star systems near human space. "Zephyrian scout ships have been seen in 5 systems. This week alone, they're testing our defenses." Carl nodded grimly. It had been 15 years since Captain Morrison's discovery of the Architect Station. 15 years of secret construction, hidden colonies, and careful planning. Project Silent Dawn had grown beyond their wildest dreams, but so had the threats against humanity. "How many hidden colonies do we have now?" Carl asked. Helen checked her tablet. 47 fully operational worlds, 12 more under construction. Our cloaked shipyards have produced over 300 vessels using architect technology. We have enough firepower to match any alien fleet in the galaxy. "But they don't know that," Carl said. "As far as the Galactic Council knows, humans are still struggling with basic space travel. The deception had been perfect. While humanity's secret empire grew strong in the darkness between stars, their public colonies continued to appear weak and limited. Ships deliberately used older technology. Colonies reported resource shortages that didn't exist, and human diplomats played the role of junior partners in galactic affairs. Dr. Patricia Stone entered the secure conference room carrying a data pad with the latest intelligence reports. She had been promoted to head of the Hidden Empire's spy network, after proving her skills at keeping secrets from even the most advanced alien surveillance systems. "The situation is getting worse," Patricia said without greeting. "My sources in the Galactic Council report that High Commander Veltar of the Zephyrian hegemony is pushing for immediate action against human expansion. He's convinced 3 other Major alien powers to support him. Carl felt his stomach drop. What kind of action? Population limits, colony restrictions, and mandatory technology sharing agreements. They want to cap human birth rates at current levels and prevent us from settling more than 10 new worlds per year. Helen slammed her hand on the table. 10 worlds per year? We're adding 20 million people annually. 10 worlds wouldn't support a fraction of our population growth. Patricia nodded. That's the point. They want to force humans into overcrowded conditions until we become dependent on alien aid and technology. Veltar has been telling the Council that humans breed like insects and consume resources like a plague. The door chimed and Ambassador Daniel Cross entered looking exhausted. He had just returned from 3 months of negotiations on the Council station, trying to defend humanity's right to expand freely through the galaxy. How bad is it, Daniel? Carl asked. Daniel collapsed into a chair. Worse than we feared. Speaker, Kethmore of the Ethereal Confederacy has sided with the Zephyrians. The vote is scheduled for next week and we don't have enough support to stop it. What about our allies? Helen asked. The Trader Guild is staying neutral. They make money, from both sides. The Crystal Collective wants to avoid conflict. Only the Plant Federation is supporting us and they don't have much political power. Carl stood and walked to the star map. The red zones seemed to pulse with threat, while the small blue areas representing official human territory looked vulnerable and isolated. But scattered throughout the empty black spaces were dozens of invisible colonies that the aliens knew nothing about. Maybe it's time to show them what we're really capable of, Carl said quietly. Patricia shook her head. Not yet. My intelligence network isn't ready for that kind of exposure. We need more time to position our assets and prepare for the political backlash. We might not have more time, Daniel said. He activated his personal communicator and projected a newsfeed. This morning, Zephyrian forces attacked a human merchant convoy in the Vega system. They claimed the ships were carrying illegal weapons, but the manifest showed only medical supplies for the colony on New Geneva. The news footage showed wreckage floating in space and rescue ships searching for survivors. Carl counted at least 3 destroyed freighters and 2 escort vessels. The reporter mentioned 12 dead crew members, all civilians. This is just the beginning, Daniel continued. Veltar is testing our response. If we don't fight back, he'll escalate until he finds an excuse for full military action. Helen pulled up colony reports on her tablet. New Geneva is one of our most successful settlements. 80,000 colonists, major agricultural production, and 3 universities. If the Zephyrians attack it directly, they won't stop with 1 colony, Carl said. Intelligence suggests they're planning coordinated strikes against all major human worlds. They want to reduce our population by 70% and force the survivors into client status under alien oversight. Patricia's communicator buzzed with an urgent message. She read it quickly and her face went pale. My operative in the Zephyrian High Command just confirmed it. Operation Swift Cleansing is scheduled to begin in 6 months. Simultaneous attacks. On Earth, Mars, Europa Station, and 15 colony worlds. The room fell silent. Everyone understood what this meant. The aliens weren't planning to limit human expansion. They were planning genocide. How many ships can we mobilize from the hidden fleet? Carl asked. Helen consulted her files. All 47 colonies have defensive platforms powered by architect technology. Our shipyards can launch 300 vessels within a month, with another 500 available if we recall the Deep Space Patrol fleets. What about ground forces? Daniel asked. General Nick Adams has been training special forces using architect equipment for 10 years. His soldiers have power armor that makes them nearly invincible and weapons that can cut through any known alien defense system. Carl made his decision. We prepare for war, but we don't start it. Let the aliens make the first move, then show them what humanity is really capable of. Patricia, I want your best agents positioned to monitor alien fleet movements. Helen, begin moving our hidden ships into position around all human colonies, public and secret. What about the Galactic Council? Daniel asked. Keep playing your role. Act weak, ask for protection, file diplomatic protests. Make them think we're helpless right up until the moment we prove we're not. As the meeting broke up, Carl remained staring at the star map. The galaxy was about to discover that humanity had not been idle during their years of apparent weakness. The hidden empire was ready to reveal itself, and when it did, the balance of power would shift forever. He thought about Captain Morrison's discovery 15 years ago and the warning left by the architects. They had predicted this war, this attempt by older species to destroy humanity before it became too powerful. The architects had been destroyed because they weren't prepared. Humanity would not make the same mistake. The attack came without warning on a Tuesday morning. Captain Sandra White was drinking her coffee on the bridge of the hidden battleship USS Defiance when alarms started screaming throughout the ship. Her communications officer looked up from his console with wide eyes. "Captain, we're receiving emergency signals from Earth Defense Command. Multiple alien fleets just dropped out of hyperspace around Sol system. They're attacking everything in sight." Sandra set down her coffee cup with steady hands, though her heart was racing. This was the moment they had prepared for during 15 years of secret training. "Battle stations. Signal all hidden fleet units. Operation Daybreak is now active." Around Earth's solar system, 18 cloaked human warships suddenly became visible as their stealth systems powered down. The attacking Zephyrian fleet had expected to find only the 12 outdated patrol ships that humanity publicly maintained. Instead, they found themselves facing vessels equipped with architect technology that made their own ships look like toys. Admiral Jake Morrison, now commanding the entire hidden fleet, watched from his flagship as the battle unfolded. The aliens had brought 400 ships to destroy humanity's home system. It should have been more than enough to crush any resistance. "Enemy flagship is targeting the lunar colonies," reported his tactical officer. "Should we engage?" "All ships weapons free," Morrison ordered. "Show them what humans can really do." The first salvo from the human ships lit up space like a new sun. Energy beams powered by architect technology cut through alien shields like they weren't even there. Zephyrian dreadnoughts that had terrorized a dozen species exploded in seconds under the assault from weapons they had never seen before. High Commander Veltar watched in horror from his command ship as half his fleet disappeared in the first minute of combat. "This is impossible," he whispered. "Humans don't have this kind of technology." His communications officer was frantically trying to contact the other attack fleets. "Sir, we're receiving reports from all fronts. Human colonies across the galaxy are fighting back with unknown vessels. Our forces are being destroyed everywhere." At the colony world of New Geneva, Colonel Frank Taylor led his ground forces in power armor that made them look like walking tanks. The Zephyrian soldiers who had landed expecting to massacre defenseless civilians instead found themselves facing warriors who could punch through their vehicles with bare hands and survive direct hits from plasma cannons. "How many of them are there?" screamed a Zephyrian officer as his troops retreated from the advancing humans. Frank's voice came through his armor's external speakers, calm and deadly. "Enough." The battle for New Geneva lasted 3 hours. When it was over, 2,000 Zephyrian soldiers were dead or captured, while the human defenders had lost only 12 people. The colony's hidden defense platforms had shot down every enemy ship that tried to escape. Back in the Sol system, Admiral Morrison received reports from battles across human space. Every single alien attack had been repelled, often with devastating losses for the attackers. The hidden empire's true strength was revealing itself system by system. "Sir," his intelligence officer called out, "we're intercepting alien communications. They're calling for immediate retreat and requesting emergency council sessions. I think we broke their entire military strategy." Morrison nodded. "Signal all fleet commanders. Phase 2 begins now. It's time to take the fight to them." Commander, Rachel Brooks led the second wave of attacks against Zephyrian supply bases and communication relays. Her ships appeared in enemy systems without warning, destroyed their targets, and vanished before reinforcements could arrive. The aliens had never seen anything like the architect's instant travel technology. "Target destroyed," Brooks reported after obliterating a major Zephyrian shipyard. "No survivors detected. Moving to next objective." The war that the aliens had planned to end in days stretched into weeks as humanity revealed more of its hidden strength. Secret colonies that no alien scanner had ever detected suddenly appeared on star charts as their cloaking systems powered down. Human ships struck deep into enemy territory using jump routes that shouldn't have existed. Dr. Mary Johnson worked frantically in her laboratory on Haven 1, humanity's first hidden colony. The war had accelerated her research into the most dangerous architect technologies, weapons that could destroy entire planets. The power requirements are enormous, she told General Nick Adams during a secure video call. But it can be done. We could end this war in one decisive strike. Adams considered the implications. What about civilian casualties? The Zephyrian homeworld has 12 billion inhabitants. If we use this weapon, that's genocide, Mary. We're not like them. But other voices in the Hidden Empire's leadership were less concerned about alien civilians. The attacks on human colonies had killed millions of people, and many wanted revenge. The debate raged in secure communications channels while the war continued to spread across the galaxy. 3 months after the first attack, the tide of war had completely reversed. The Zephyrian hegemony was requesting peace talks. 3 other alien powers had withdrawn from the conflict, and the Galactic Council was in complete chaos. No one understood how humanity had become so powerful so quickly. The final blow came when Admiral Morrison led a massive fleet to the Nexus Station, the Galactic Council's capital. The station was protected by the combined fleets of 6 alien species, but they scattered like leaves before the advancing human armada. "This is Admiral Morrison of the Human Defense Fleet." His voice echoed through the station's corridors as human marines secured key areas. "The Galactic Council is hereby dissolved. All alien military forces will withdraw to their home systems immediately." Speaker Kethmore of the Ethereal Confederacy found himself facing human soldiers in his own council chambers. "How is this possible? Your species was nothing 15 years ago." Morrison's holographic image appeared in the chamber. "We were never nothing. We were just waiting for the right moment to show you what we really are." The war officially ended 4 days later when the last Zephyrian fleet surrendered at the edge of their home system. High Commander Veltar transmitted his formal surrender directly to Admiral Morrison, his voice broken and defeated. "We yield to human authority. We request mercy for our civilians." Morrison's response was broadcast across the galaxy. "Humanity accepts your surrender. All alien military forces will disarm and return to defensive positions around their home worlds. Any species that threatens human colonies or civilians will face the full might of our empire." As alien fleets retreated across the galaxy, the true scope of humanity's hidden empire became clear. 47 worlds that no alien had known existed suddenly appeared on galactic maps. Shipyards that had been building vessels in secret for 15 years revealed fleets that dwarfed anything the galaxy had ever seen. The war was over, but the real challenge was just beginning. Humanity now ruled the galaxy, and everyone was watching to see what they would do with their newfound power. President Elena Torres stood in the ruins of the old Galactic Council chamber, looking at the empty seats where alien leaders once made decisions for the entire galaxy. The war had been over for 6 months, but the hardest part was just beginning. Winning the war was simple compared to deciding what to do next. "The Zephyrian delegation is here to see you," announced her aide, Captain Lisa Ward. "They've been waiting for 3 hours." Elena nodded. "Send them in. It's time to hear what they have to say." High Commander Veltar entered the chamber with 2 other Zephyrian officials. The alien leader who had once planned to destroy humanity now looked broken and afraid. His hands shook as he approached the human president. "President Torres," Veltar said in careful English, "my people are starving. The trade blockade has cut off food supplies to 12 of our colonies. We request permission to resume agricultural imports." Elena studied the alien who had ordered the deaths of millions of humans. Part of her wanted to let his people suffer as humans had suffered, but she also knew that ruling through fear would make humans no better than the aliens they had defeated. "The blockade will be lifted," she said finally, "but Zephyrian ships will be escorted by human vessels at all times. Any aggressive action will result in immediate destruction." Veltar bowed deeply. "Thank you, President Torres. Your mercy will not be forgotten." After the Zephyrians left, Elena turned to Admiral Morrison, who had been quietly observing the meeting. "Do you think I'm being too soft on them, Jake?" Morrison considered the question carefully. "They would have shown us no mercy if they had, one. But maybe that's what makes us different from them." The revelation of humanity's hidden empire had shocked both human civilians and alien populations across the galaxy. On Earth, protests filled the streets as people demanded answers about the secret government that had operated without their knowledge for 15 years. Director Helen Brooks found herself testifying before emergency congressional hearings almost every day. Angry representatives wanted to know how such a massive project had been kept secret and who had given the authority to build a hidden military empire. "You spent trillions of dollars and built 47 colonies without telling anyone," shouted Congressman Bill Parker. "How is that not treason?" Helen remained calm under the hostile questioning. "We saved humanity from extinction. If we had shared the architect technology with the Galactic Council, they would have found a way to take it away from us. The war proved we were right to keep it secret." Meanwhile, Dr. Kevin Price was making discoveries that changed everything. Humans thought they knew about the galaxy's history. Deep in the architect ruins on Haven 1, he found records that told the true story of what had happened to the galaxy's former rulers. The architects weren't destroyed by natural disasters or war among themselves, Kevin explained to a gathering of human leaders. They were murdered by a coalition of younger species who feared their technological superiority. The same species that make up today's Galactic Council. The evidence was overwhelming. Ancient records showed how the Ethereal Confederacy, the Zephyrian hegemony, and 4 other major powers had worked together to destroy the architects 5,000 years ago. They had used the same tactics against the architects that they tried to use against humanity: economic pressure, political isolation, and finally military assault. Dr. Patricia Stone's intelligence networks confirmed that the pattern had repeated multiple times throughout galactic history. Whenever a new species develops advanced technology, the older powers work together to destroy them. We're just the latest target, and we're the first to survive the attempt. The discovery sparked fierce debates among human leadership about how to use this information. Some wanted to reveal the truth to the galaxy and expose the alien powers as genocidal murderers. Others argued that it would only create more chaos and instability. General Nick Adams advocated for a harder approach. "We should demand reparations from every species that participated in attacks against us. Make them pay for the colonies they destroyed and the people they killed." But Chief Diplomat Sarah Williams had a different vision. "We have a chance to break this cycle of destruction. Instead of seeking revenge, we could build something better." The debate continued for months while human forces maintained order throughout the galaxy. Alien species watched nervously as humanity decided their fate. Some tried to curry favor with their new rulers, while others retreated to their home systems and waited to see what would happen. The breakthrough came when Dr. Mary Johnson made a startling discovery in her analysis of architect technology. "The weapon systems aren't just for destruction," she announced during a secure briefing. "They can be reconfigured to build massive construction projects. We could create space habitats that house billions of people, terraform dead planets, even build artificial stars." President Torres saw the opportunity immediately. "Instead of ruling through fear, we could rule through prosperity. Offer every species in the galaxy a choice. Join us and benefit from architect technology, or remain isolated on their home worlds." The Human Galactic Republic was officially founded 1 year after the war ended. The new government offered membership to any species willing to accept human leadership, while guaranteeing protection and technological advancement to all member worlds. The response was mixed. The Plant Federation joined immediately, eager to use human terraforming technology to create new garden worlds. The Trader Guild negotiated carefully but eventually signed up when they realized the economic benefits. The Crystal Collective remained neutral but opened trade relations. The Zephyrian hegemony and Ethereal Confederacy refused to join, choosing to remain isolated in their home systems. Human forces maintained a watchful presence at their borders, but made no aggressive moves. The message was clear: cooperate and prosper, or stay isolated and stagnate. Admiral Morrison, now Fleet Admiral of the combined human forces, oversaw the continued expansion of human space. Construction began on massive orbital habitats around key star systems, each one capable of housing millions of beings from multiple species. The projects were funded by taxes on member worlds, but built using voluntary labor from species that wanted to learn human construction techniques. 5 years after the war, the galaxy was a different place. Human technology had ended resource scarcity on dozens of worlds. Medical advances had extended lifespans for multiple species. Trade flowed freely between member worlds under human protection, but challenges remained. Dr. Johnson's final research project had detected something troubling at the edge of the galaxy. Energy signatures that suggested another intelligence, one that might be even more advanced than the architects. The data was incomplete, but the implications were frightening. Whatever destroyed the architects might still be out there, Johnson warned during her final briefing before retirement. We've grown strong, but we might face threats that make the Zephyrians look like children. Admiral Morrison studied the sensor readings from the galaxy's edge. Humanity had survived one test of their strength and built an empire that spanned the stars. But the universe was vast, and somewhere in the darkness between galaxies, something was watching and waiting. The human Galactic Republic was ready to face whatever came next.